Hello, hello. Here we are again.
It's damn fool's journey, man. It's
A
gonna be the death
Monday.
of me yet, bro.
It's a
Oh.
Monday. I'm glad we picked Monday to do this. It's got Monday's got
I'm really excited about that too. That's a
yeah,
cool thing. It gives people something to
something
kind
to
of
look
hang
forward
on
to on
to.
Mondays.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how
And
you
it's
doing,
easier to
Brian?
find people hanging out with us on a Monday night than it
That's
is on
true.
yeah,
That's true.
exactly.
Welcome, welcome. If you are here joining us on the Fool's Journey, welcome. We always appreciate you guys being here. Uh,
Oh man, J-Lo, good to see you.
Oh, nice. J-Lo, always there supporting the
You
fuck
know,
out of us.
J-Lo's badass. J-Lo and I like hooked up. She did some classes with me before this, and she bought both the decks, and
Awesome.
she really dove into her classes with me, learned a whole lot, and was doing some other like some really kind of intensive magical work at the same time, and bringing her daughters around, raising this
Wow.
new like informed generation
Oh,
of
that's awesome.
little energy people. It's super cool. I'm so
That's
glad
awesome.
she's
I
participating
I
with us.
love that when I see people who have their kids around and they're doing stuff just like really,
Right?
just like without who can, this is what they want. This is the influence they want them to see. I mean, it's all good. JLo saying
Yeah.
hello. We got Rick out there. What's up, Rick? We got JLo
Yeah.
out there.
Hey man, Rick gave us the greatest thing, dude. This is a gift. And thank you, my brother, you advertising whore just like me. I love you so much. This is amazing. He goes, yeah, I'll be there on the Wizard of Oddcast tonight.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, man. So we're
That's
stealing it,
awesome.
my brother. Thanks.
That's
You offered
awesome.
it up. We're taking it wholeheartedly. Thanks. It was
I
really super
definitely love
cool.
it.
Yeah, man.
That's
So,
awesome.
we're going to talk about the death card from last week. Oh my goodness. I mean, this whole like live Fool's Journey thing is like, I thought it was going to be metaphorical, but it's gotten in a kind of scary way, especially this last week, very, very real. And as a matter of fact, my friend Leah said, dude, if you do this again, I'm going to have to kick you in the head. I said, no. I didn't actually set out to actually do this. I thought we were just going to, my whole goal to this was teach you the damn
Yeah,
tarot,
I
man.
know. I know.
And we're going to do some cards and make it fun and the Fool's Journey. It's all good. Well, now here we are, and like, the death thing just rolled by. I'm so happy to be on the art card and to be off of that death like
Yeah.
zone, especially the death thing right after the hanged man. The hanged man energy is always just so melancholy and like,
Mhm.
I just don't really like it at all.
Right,
Even
right,
though it's useful, great, cool, but
right.
then to go right from that, because what all of that, the death card is about killing all of the crap that you saw was outmoded hanging from the damn tree.
Right, 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 right.
Oh, great. So now all that dies, has to decay and go away. So tonight's card, art number 14, is about the transmutation of that energy and making the things that are left out of that, bringing those opposites together
Right.
and refining them again into a third thing that's more elevated in all of those. So super
Totally.
cool. I love it. It's a card about the resolution of opposites, which
Right.
something I know a little about.
Very cool. Oh, look at this. We've got Audacious out there, who's saying hello. So welcome, Audacious. It's a new
Hello.
name I'm seeing out there.
Yes.
Welcome to the Fool's Journey. So just to go back for a second, I know I don't want to go into the details because we were just talking about, you were just telling me the story about how this week was full of
Oh,
the
the
death
death thing.
card for
Well,
you.
as I said last week in the show, it was with a bit of trepidation that I sort of traveled into this because
Mhm, mhm.
as the cards have been revealing themselves, the real live journey is becoming increasingly obvious, and at this point it's like, oh man, okay, just
There's a reason. Yeah,
take this very seriously, and just plan and make sure you're not a sloppy wizard and you have your
totally.
magical chops. I mean, I have to really treat this like it's just me and the
Well,
astral, and
I'm very thankful that I know for a fact you are not a sloppy wizard, so I'm very
well,
thankful for that. And it looks like, oh look, Trish Riffer has found her way here. I know she was
Trish, what's up?
looking for the link earlier,
She's
so
one of the goddesses, man,
yeah.
and we're going to talk about that. The full moon scenario is coming up here. As a matter of fact, now is a really good time for that. The full moon scenario is coming up here on the. We're gonna. It actually is. Accurately date-wise on the 7th of this week, but we're going to have the gathering on the 8th, and there's kind of a specific reason why we're going to do that. A lot of people think that the full moon is actually the fulfillment of the what you've done from the new moon to that point, but it's kind of like not really. And in my experience and the people I know that practice and are really serious about it, it's the gibbous moon right before, the little crescent right before, and that represents kind of like the 9 of Pentacles or the 9 of Cups. And it's like this moment, like, well, here's a really good metaphor. It's like the moments that you're like building up to an orgasm, like just right before, and you're holding and holding and holding. So like the 9s are kind of like that energy. There's still something to come. It's really awesome, and no pun intended. It's really awesome, but it hasn't arrived yet, And then once it happens, wow, it's really good, but then you're laying back having to smoke, thinking about how good it was, instead of still getting to feel how good it was, or how good it's gonna be. Just like the anticipation of something awful is horrible and nightmarish, the anticipation of something really cool is the same way,
Yeah.
And once you hit 10, the 10 is the completion. So there's no more potential energy in that. That energy was spent going from the 9 to the 10, and now that's done. So a new cycle has to begin. And that's what we'll be using the 8th. On the 8th, that's the little gibbous crescent, just as it's going into the waning moon. So you want to take that energy and connect something that you want to make go away and leave. In this particular case, we're going to do a fear banishing, which I'm beyond psyched about. I can't even begin to believe it. And we're going to make all of that like go away. And it's part 1 of a 2-part thing. We're going to do the fear banish on the full moon scenario and start the wane of that and making that go away. And that will work up to the new moon ceremony, which we'll hold on the winter solstice, my favorite day of the year without doubt. And we're going to do a major New Year's blessing and do a whole big herb Omiero bath that will all charge up and make just incredible, and everybody get to like take some stuff with them, and it'll be very, very,
that sounds
very,
amazing.
very
Yeah, that sounds
yeah.
really
So
good.
the whole like banish fear and using that solstice time, not only is that moment of celebration, but planting that seed for prosperity and abundance and joy and happiness to rain down on your life, because abundance isn't just some cash, although that's really nice, but it's abundance
Right.
in
No.
every
Yeah.
way, shape, and form,
Right. Of course. Oh, look,
spiritually
Julie's
as
here.
well, really
Julie's
cool.
here. She's having some tech difficulties. What's up, Julie? Good to see you.
There's Jilly. Good to see ya. What's up?
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's coming up on the 8th, and any of the goddesses out there listening, come on by. We're gonna do this banish ritual. Like you'll have fun.
It's so cool that you found a community that you can,
I
practice
am in
all of this
heaven.
stuff
I
with,
absolutely can't believe
it's
it.
really
I have
great.
just so much respect for all these people. Francesca, the woman that started the goddess gathering thing, just kind of had this vision for this, and has wound up collecting some amazing people, man. I'm just really thrilled.
Well, it's also cool. I think it's also really amazing. I mean, I know for me, it's really, I've always had an amazing respect and kind of like no understanding of divine feminine energy, right? And this at this day and age, there's so much going on for the divine feminine, because I think she's been oppressed for so long that there's as a guy, you're kind of like left out a little bit. Like there's all these goddess gatherings and stuff, but you have been able to break through that, and I feel like I have too, in a way. I have a lot of friends who are goddesses and do these things, and
Because
I'm
it's
certainly
not about
welcome
being
there.
at war with each
That's right.
other,
It's no,
man.
it's great.
The thing about it is that male energy has an amazing quality to it,
Mhm.
and female energy has an amazing quality to
Mhm.
it. And
Right.
those things can be pitted against each other as competitors and warriors and enemies,
Right.
or they can combine. And that's what this fucking card is about tonight. Art, and taking two opposites and combining those things,
More
and
powerful force.
purifying the dross and the things that don't serve either of those, and leaving both things as a unified third thing, more elevated than either of those separate parts.
Mhm.
And that's been my whole like gig with this. It's like I don't. We've talked about that
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
looking for the balanced center. Where I
It's
can
amazing.
use
Yeah.
either one of them at will for my own use, and
Absolutely.
you know, uh,
Absolutely. What's up? Celestial's here, so we're saying hello to Celestial, and
a
Jilly saying we need a Long Island chapter. I think she's talking about the goddess gatherings.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've already talked
she,
to Francesca about that, and
yeah,
I think there's going to be a lot of big things happen in
hook her up
2023.
with Jilly. Jilly should
I
be
am already
guiding
worked it
those
up. She's
things.
already
Yeah,
part of the gathering. She's already
that's awesome.
she's part of the group already. So
I'm
she's
not
already
surprised.
dialed in, and we're gonna get her connected
Jilly is a
up.
part of everything. That's what's so amazing about
That's
her.
because Jilly fucking makes things happen,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Jilly sat here and saw all of those like rod spin things and all the energy, like little tidbits that are outside the tarot stuff that we did. And
Mhm.
instead of just going, oh, yeah, that's cool, letting it roll by and wait for the next one next month, next week, Jilly got on all of
Yeah,
those, man.
yeah.
She's spinning the rod 21,
Mhm.
22 times in a row. Fucking awesome, man. And learning
You
sheet
know what?
language.
I gotta get her rod, because I don't have a good one, and if she's got one to work with, that'll definitely motivate me to work with it.
Go get your own fucking rods,
Yeah.
man. God,
Where do I
man.
get it?
Go get an antenna off
I
an
don't
old
even know where to
boombox.
get it.
Go get an antenna off an old boombox. Figure it
Okay.
out. It's not
The
that big
antenna?
a
No,
deal.
no, it's not. The antenna part's not the hard part. It's
That's the part.
the big lens. No,
What
is
do
it
you
a big?
need a big? I told you don't need a big lens.
What do you?
You need a glass and a magnifying glass. Here, hold on.
What do you spin it on like
Listen,
a
man.
dome?
I gotta tell you.
He's yelling at me now. He's yelling at me because I'm being lazy, and I'm just asking. I'm asking for it instead of
The book of excuses. I've
yeah.
got an answer for every single one of them. Take a glass, some kind of glass. Take a magnifying glass. Sit the glass on top of that. Of course, take the
Right.
rim off. So now you have a nice
All right. Well, that's
rounded
what.
surface.
Well, hold
It's
on,
sitting
hold on,
on
hold
a
on.
stable glass,
Hold
and
on,
you can
hold on.
spin the fucking rod. So what else, then?
Did I
Why
not
can't you do
say-
it?
Did I not say I need a big lens? Is that magnifying glass not a big lens? That's exactly what I'm saying I need. That's the piece that I'm missing. I don't have a magnifying glass like that.
Five and dime, bro. Any thrift
All right.
store.
No. I never thought of you know what? I hadn't thought of a magnifying glass. I thought it was flat on one side and a dome on the other. I thought it was a special lens.
Okay. I'll be nice to you, man. I made you sad last week. I'll try to be kind.
I could feel it in that grin that you just gave me.
So anyway, kudos to Jilly, and I'm trying to con her into doing a little.
She's gonna get me one for Christmas. There you go.
I'll do no, Jilly, come on, man. You're not helping him like doing it for him.
He wants me to work for it.
Absolutely. Doesn't it mean more to you, Jilly, that you went and got your own? I mean, honestly, doesn't it mean more to you? You went and hunted it out. Now it's yours. years. Yeah.
Man,
And it meant enough to
the
you to
truth
get
is
off your butt and go get it,
the
right?
truth is coming out. Why Brian is in my life right now.
Bro.
He's he's my boot camp sergeant.
You don't need anybody like patting you
No,
on the
no, I'm just.
back, man.
It's all good, dude. I
Not
love
if
it.
they
I
really
love it.
care about you, dude.
I
You
love.
know?
That's what it is. That's what I feel. I feel it. I love it. It's great.
None of this is trying to be mean to you. It's just
No. All right. Well, let's get on with it. Let's get me out of
okay,
this car.
so death card, bro. Hi. So Tuesday, I don't know why, but I was just super depressed on Tuesday. I
Okay.
felt like somebody had sucked all the energy out of me. I was tired. I was just depressed, man. And there was really no reason for me to be. Well, there was some financial stuff that was really pressing me. That was like needing a solution that I couldn't see one to at that time. That always kind of like throws a little pall on my stuff, right? So while I'm trying to figure that out, Wednesday rolls around. Now I'm like feeling not so good, man. Your skin kind of hurts. You're getting no. And I woke up in the middle of the night with the like scratchy thing right at the back of your throat, going in your throat. It sucked. I'm like, okay, here. So I jumped up, tried to do some stuff that I could do to it, but I was really exhausted, man. I mean, I was just tapped. So end of day Wednesday, I'm like really crashing. And I try to go to bed early, and I get a really kind of restless night's sleep. Thursday, I'm like, I have a very high fever.
Wow.
I'm like, man, this is not good. So I'm laying there in bed, and I'm thinking about like, okay, it's death card, man. This is fucking not really good. I don't want to go to fear, especially when we're gonna banish fear momentarily, but I was kind of fearful. And so anyway, you get in that weird kind of mindset when you have a high fever, Not that I need much to push me there anyway, but it gets me like kind of in some crazy hallucination.
A different weird mindset.
Yeah, exactly. So my friend Leah calls me up and goes, "Hey, dude, what's going on? We're just kind of shooting the crap for a second." She goes, "You sound like death warmed over." Like, oh man, no. She goes, "All right, listen, go get in bed. I'm coming over." So she like shows up a little while later with this like big armful of like soup and teapots and tea bags, and like, okay, cool, man. And it felt really good to have somebody kind of like have my back for a second and let me rest. And she came over and like really took good care of me for an afternoon, helped me get my like grip back together in a really major way. Super grateful, Leah, if you're out there listening. Thank you very much. So finally, I make it through Thursday. It felt continually better, but still like just super drained. Friday rolls around. All of a sudden, oh my God, there's like commotion. Blue. Turns out that the person that lives directly across from me in the little apartment thing that I live in, massive heart attack, EMTs, stuff, flights, stretchers, people trying to make things happen, and he passed.
Wow.
He's the first guy that welcomed me here, and it kind of like really,
sorry to hear that,
especially on the heels of being sick. And kind of feeling a little spooky about that anyway. And all of a sudden, not that he was, I honestly, I'm not that surprised just from seeing him physically and his level of strength, that happened. But the fact that it happened then, during this time,
right,
on the heels of this other thing, was just really kind of creepy. So I'm hanging in, I'm just trying to be cool. And, next thing I know, my neighbor next door to me on the right is going to the hospital in some sort of diabetic shock thing to the emergency room. He's fine.
Crazy.
Everything's cool. He's back home. All's good. But that creeped me out to say, oh, I can't even begin to tell you. It's like, all right, time to get out of here. So I put in a call, man. Leo came up and rescued me, and we went had some fun, hung out with people, did some music, and like kind of like went somewhere else.
Just
And
to
she
unplug.
lives down
Yeah,
in Lake
yeah.
Placid, so I could just completely get out of the whole thing. I went, hung
Cool.
out with her family and met her father. Her father's a crazy, cool person. Like, what the fuck did I just
That's
experience?
awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. So it was really did a little light painting, and everybody had fun. It was like
Cool.
it was exactly what I needed at that
All
time. And
right.
I
All
just put
right.
a shield over, man. I did my best cloaking.
Well, and if you think about it, really what you did was you took that energy that was going on around where you were at and you transformed it into
Yeah, that's exactly right. And
creative energy,
and
and
I just couldn't stick around. I don't know about you, but sitting there watching somebody across the street, people come in and take
oh
his stuff
yeah.
out of his apartment, just breaks
Yeah,
my heart.
yeah.
I'm such a softie for being such an asshole,
Yeah.
you know?
No, well, you know what? I'm glad that you were able to transform that whole experience from what was happening into what you made it into. Uh, and I gotta say, we have a couple of things that we want to share on this episode, which is cool. Um, and JLo saying we are walking the fool's journey. We literally are. But
Truly, J
so
Lo.
you're talking about Leah, right?
Yeah,
And this today's card is art, right?
right. Yes.
And you made a audio piece out of
Yes,
Leah's name, right?
I did.
And I took some of my photography and I made some art out of it. So I'm just
All
gonna
right.
play
Awesome.
that real quick. Whoop, I blew it already. I gotta rewind it here. There we go.
Hey, Leah, it's a gift from Zen.
Cool. Cool. Yeah,
Cool.
that little audio piece you made of Leah. I'm still working on a guided meditation. I've been listening to it at night, trying to like let it come to me. But it's amazing.
Can
I
I
can't
make a
wait to hear more.
suggestion? Can I make
Yeah.
a suggestion? And this is how it just sort of revealed to me. I didn't really go looking for this, but it seems Leah kind of has a similar experience with it. That as you kind of get down into it, the first couple times you listen to it, you're hearing the weird little voices and all this. But once you
Mhm.
kind of like settle into it, it seems like every one of those gong hits that happen, like I think it's like every 8 bars, boom, and then they echo and sustain. Like
Mhm.
each one of those is kind of like this weird ride back through lifetimes.
Mhm. Oh wow.
And yeah, man, and I, just kind of look at it like that. See if you experience that too, because it's been a really fruitful and incredibly beautiful and uh, just amazing ride. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Best kind right there.
the best kind. Yeah. So on the subject of videos, I actually made a video for the art card,
Oh my
and
god.
I would absolutely love to play that.
Yeah, let's play that one. That's right here.
Okay,
And
before we hit play,
okay.
this is really a cool video. It has a really good friend of mine named Jess, one of my old core group people, and I met her when she was just a young whippersnapper in my FIU, and now she's like a big time lawyer, getting married to a big time like neuro doctor guy, and just having a good time, living a really great life, and I could not be more proud of her. And she's born on my mother's birthday, as
Oh
well
wow.
as Jilly's mother's birthday, and about 20 other people I
Oh.
won't name. But she's a very significant person in my life, and wound up being in more videos. I was able to con her into doing it for free.
Awesome. Awesome.
So I bought her off for a pair of angel wings on this one,
Yeah,
and
she's perfect.
she
Perfect.
did a really, really great job. So anyway, Jess, if you're
All
looking,
right, guys. So I'm going to leave you for this with this video for a moment. This is for the art card.
She's an angel. She's an angel. She fixes hearts. She's an angel. She makes us fly. She's an angel. A joy in the sun. 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 She's an angel. She's an angel. Things go from bad to good. Good. Alchemy. Art. Transform your soul. Alchemy. Alchemy. Alchemy.
Yeah.
Magic. The art that encompasses all arts is Visita interiora, terra difficando inventi soccorso avenue. She's an artist. She's an artist.
Oh my god. I made him look like a stalker. Yeah, I love this.
Working together. Opposites attract. Opposites attract. She's an angel. She fixes hearts. She's an angel. She fixes hearts. She's an angel. She fixes hearts. She's my angel.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, I love those images with the fire and the water together.
good, man.
Oh,
So
so
good.
cool.
I feel
Hey,
like
a kind of a cool thing about all of these videos
yeah.
is that they're not actually videos. They're every one of them is a still motion. Those are all still frames stitched together, which I think is pretty cool.
Amazing, dude. Yeah, no, it's such an extra dimension to this show to have those, and just the fact that we didn't have to create them; they already existed. They were there,
Yeah,
waiting
right.
for us, waiting for this show.
Sitting in the vault.
Yeah, I mean, and I've said that before about art, like art is always renewable. If you do a piece of art, why can't you pull it out 10 years later and renew it? Just do something new.
Well, if it's still relevant, that
Yeah,
wasn't really
yeah.
relevant to any period of time.
I
That
think-
could
I
be
think it's
yesterday in Wynwood.
Yeah, no, but I think it's timeless energy. It's amazing.
Cool.
Julie says she loves the graffiti location. I love the devil graffiti that was in there was 2 or 3 of them I saw.
Yeah.
And then some angel stuff and some devil stuff. That was
Yeah, I don't
really
know
good.
if you've ever heard of Wynwood, but Wynwood's kind of like the art district in Miami, and
Okay.
yeah, it's like every
Oh,
single
is that where
wall.
the Art Basel is?
It is there. Art Basel's huge. It's all over Miami, but
Gotcha.
all year long, like people from Art Basel show up, and like world-renowned street artists are vying to get walls for that, and
Right, right.
and do stuff, and then that stuff stays up for a year, and new people show up. It's a pretty awesome little thing.
Cool.
Rick was just down there, man. Rick wound up showing a couple of his pieces down there. They're really,
Awesome.
really super beautiful. Yeah.
Good
Hey,
job,
if you're
Rick.
listening and can send them, why don't you do that,
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
Midler? Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
So what's
So,
going on with you, Zen?
what's going on with me, man? I'm all good stuff. All good stuff. I'm just trying to get, stay in the driver's seat of the boat that is carrying me through the third dimension and through the fifth dimension. And just make sure everything's balanced. I would say for the most part it is. You can see there's obviously work to do. I think I'm in a comfort zone of balance, and it could probably be more balanced, and I could
There's always work
you know,
to be done, Zen. To the day you close your eyes for
yeah,
good,
yeah,
and then on the other side, there's always work to do until you
yeah.
just become the light again.
Listen, I have a good vision of myself waking up in a tropical environment and having freshly cut fruit for breakfast, and I know that's going to be a physical reality for me at some point. So that's how I'm doing.
There you go.
There you go. But I love what we've been doing with this fool's journey, and especially last week with the death card and the whole idea. I love how it's normally people who might have an idea of the tarot, the death card, it's got all of a sudden this like da thing, but really I love the spiritual application of the transformation, the change. Death doesn't represent the end of something, it represents the change of something.
That's exactly right. And it's setting up that's the transformation from what was to what's going to be. And art is the moment that what is going to be gets transmuted into what is. So it's the natural flow of the energy on this. And if anything, as much as I've said, wow, it's kind of scary, and it's become very real. The grand thing about that for a show that's about the energy aspect of tarot, not just the intellectual aspect of it, that now that energy is so real, it's actually manifesting. I know certainly in my life, if I picked at you long enough, I could probably get a whole little fool's journey from you as well. I know certainly
No, absolutely.
for
Oh,
Jilly.
it's happening. Yeah, it's happening for me. It's not, I don't think as intense as it's happening for you, or I don't even want to say that it's not happening as intensely. I think you're just relishing in it more. You're
Well,
just really like,
I'm trying to observe.
yeah.
That's the thing with this crazy thing, and it's moved on in some cool ways too. Jilly went out and found this crazy headstone, and I found some more as well. There are more pieces
Wow.
to this, but this could have gotten completely blown away. And Jilly went out and got the new piece because she thought she needed to go out to an eagle to get a photograph of an eagle, and happened to walk by this tombstone and go do a double take and look back at it and grab the picture. So, like, if she hadn't been
She's
paying
holding back on
attention,
me. I didn't hear the story.
if she hadn't been paying attention, she would have just walked on by. But as it was, she was listening and kind of tuned into that, and it went and man, sure enough, there it was, and all
I
the
think you
numbers
just
add up, and it's
yeah.
crazy.
I think you just described Jilly in a nutshell. Paying attention. That's what her energy right now is, just paying attention to every freaking sign and symbol and
That's
universe.
because she's trying to be a very yes. She's doing very well.
She's amazing. Yes, I know. We keep
A
talking.
lot of people are doing very well. By
we're
the
gonna
way,
have to have.
I'm raving about her because she just I mean, my heart is so somebody that'll actually get on some projective effects and actually make it happen.
Jilly, you're stealing my fire, Jilly.
there's lots of people
No,
out
no,
here, man, that are like diving
absolutely.
in at whatever place they're in and just going for it. And it's like, yeah, that is just absolutely amazing.
Listen, man, I gotta say, in our friendship alone, just me and you, the dynamic between you and I, and what has happened since we started this show.
Crazy journey
You know
there.
what I mean? Like it's really the show. I feel like has kind of activated some sort of energy, a connection that we already had at some for some reason, because when we connected, we already knew each other, and we're just activating something right now, which is great. Keep it going.
It's really very interesting that everyone that's in my life at this point in time is connected to me pretty much mostly directly to
Yeah,
this thing.
yeah, yeah.
Like in some way, shape, or form, there's like some
Mhm.
connection to this. So this has magnetized this amazing new life for me, man. It's like, wow, what? I should be at the end. I feel like I'm just getting out of college.
You and in a lot of ways you are, right?
Yeah, that's absolute truth. I'm
You're
having
working
none
on
of none
something.
of the old paradigms, none of the old methods of doing stuff that worked for me before I moved here still function. They might function to some degree, but
Right.
not nearly. No,
Totally
and
makes sense.
and I'm kind of like having to like feel my way through every little step by step by step. Okay,
Right.
consider that. What's the
Mhm.
way to roll? And so far, following my heart has been pretty good. I'm really
Dude, and it's funny you say that. I had some, just some different situations with my girlfriend last week, and it was really just an opportunity to sit back and watch how I navigated it and make the best choices, and I really did. It was just amazing. I'm so happy with how everything worked out because of who I am, and just understanding the energy of the situations. So Trisha's asking us which card it is, so I think we should probably get on with the art
yes,
card. I do have it waiting here.
yes.
So number 14 is the art card.
And
It
the
has
art card is it's ruled by Sagittarius, which is my rising sign and a fire sign with like fiery direction. And the thing that's really great about this is sometimes fire can just be out of control and burning like just everywhere.
mhm,
But the thing about Sagittarius fire is that it's the arrow, that's the symbol for it. And it
right,
like picks a direction and goes to that. And that's what's really great about this. And as you look at this and kind of zoom in, there's sort of a character at the very
hold on.
top of this, above that lighted area there. Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me see if I can figure out how to zoom this. Hold on, give me one moment, because it's in a browser window right now,
Yeah.
not in Photoshop. There we go.
Yeah. There you go. So there it is, like maybe, and there's this dark sort of image to that. And if you look
Mhm,
below
mhm,
that, there's
mhm,
like this light sort of image. Everything about this is about resolving the opposites, but it's
mhm,
not opposites outside of you. It's the opposites inside of you. It's the opposites of your conscious and your subconscious,
mhm,
and bringing those things into balance and finding those balances. It's finding your male and female, your projective and receptive energies,
mhm,
and finding this spot of balance to that. And the thing that, like in the Rider Waite deck, there's an angel doing the trumpet, and or not doing the trumpet, but combining two separate elements together with both hands and making this third thing, which is what I was
mhm,
representing in that video,
mhm.
especially where the fire and water are together. What that represents is normally fire and water would
Cancel
destroy
each
each
other
other,
out. Right,
cancel
right,
each
right,
other out.
right.
But those two
They were
opposite
together. Yeah, that was awesome.
had been transmuted and refined, so that
Wow.
the parts of those two opposite things that would normally cause conflict and cancellation now are there, offering
Existing.
the best
Yeah,
of both
yeah,
things in a
yeah.
third complete thing, which is just awesome. you
So
know
cool. Yeah,
yeah,
so cool.
and this card is also called art for several reasons. Art is the art that encompasses all art. It's magic, it's energy, it's painting and art and photography and anything that's creative and uses your creative ingenium that you have
Right.
developed to a point of the level of art.
Right. And I
Right.
see, interestingly, I have it gives me a vibration of, I see this like almost like this pole here in the center, and it reminds me of a like a Hawaiian totem pole, kind of where they have the faces and almost like the opposites, like the one evil grin and then the frown,
Yeah.
you know, the different faces, and that's it's just got that vibe to it. But again, we know that we could stare at these cards for hours,
Yeah.
whether we're ingesting substances or not, and still see tons and tons of stuff. It's just
Hey, in the Rider-Waite deck, Trish, it corresponds to Temperance. 14, it's the 14th card in the Major Arcana.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
scroll down below that. Yeah, there you go. So, there's the other side of that, right? Now scroll back up so that we get that middle section. And there are both sides of that pushing towards that centered thing. And what this card ultimately is about is fine. It's the card of alchemy. It's the card of going after the Philosopher's Stone, which lots of people, take to be an actual thing that you can use to make magic. But most occultists and people in the metaphysics would say that Philosopher's Stone is the inward quest and the removing the layers of dross that keep you from your true light and your true purpose and your true inspiration.
Right. Cool. You got Jeremy DeGook here.
Hey, my
Popping in
brother.
and saying what's up.
Yeah,
What's
all
up,
the way
Jeremy?
from Oregon. Yeah.
Welcome
My
to the
brother out in
Fool's Journey.
Eugene. Yeah, he and I
Cool.
connected many, many moons ago. It was super cool.
Cool. So, what else do we want to talk about?
If you see this card in a reading, you're going to see somebody stepping into, like if there's an argument going on, there's going to be somebody that steps in to help with that. There's going to be an outside scenario that is pushing two things that don't want to move together. And if you recognize either you're the person that's moving those things together, or you're one of the things being moved together. If you recognize that and don't resist that, it could wind up being a really miraculous thing. And this is a cool, amazing card for that. And it is called art. It's also a card of like absolute inspiration and finding that deepest, quest. And this is where, lots of creative ideas are born, and with the energy to actually manifest them. So this is always a really fortuitous, happy, really good card every time I see this.
Good, awesome, very good to come off of the death card and the week that you
exactly.
had.
That's why I wanted to play that video too with an angel in it.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Is that a bit of a segue into some of these images that you sent me? Do you want to share those and talk about those?
Yes.
Cool. So Brian sent me a bunch of images earlier, and these are some.
I got some new.
images.
Here. This is related to our mystery puzzle,
The Odyssey.
Yeah, and if you look at where that like opening to that portal is, and there's an 1111 on each side of that.
Wow, yeah, I see.
So, yeah, I'd encourage you to try to ride in on that. It's been a pretty interesting ride for me so far. And that just kind of feels like the whole like opening. That's what this wall feels like when I like put some juice to it. Like the whole wall is just opened up, and now it's like these places I can go. It's kind of trippy.
It is definitely trippy. I wish I got to come down there and like see this in person and like be in its presence.
You got to come down and the energy stuff. I mean, there's just this is really an amazing place, actually.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, glitter sticks.
Yeah, we got a couple of those.
A gift of glitter sticks. Yes.
Those are awesome. When I saw this one, I immediately kind of totally felt like some like Mayan hieroglyphics or Aztec, like old school. Like this had an
Yeah.
ancient and very ancient energy to it.
Well,
Um,
this next little series of these, if I think you've got what I think it is kind of like the whole building to this like crescendo of. No, it's out of
no,
order. Sorry.
it's not in order. Sorry. Oh yeah,
No, that's all
oh,
right. That's all right. These are really just fun as
yeah,
hell,
these are
man.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are all really cool, and it's so great because it's not a total different technique, but it's not the same thing as you were doing with the cards, and you could see such
It's
similarity.
a total different technique. The only thing
Right,
that's similar about that is the mirror thing, which is such
right,
a small part of it, you know.
right.
And this is
And you,
totally with light energy, and the last ones, and these are all done at night or in the dark, and the
right.
smoke stuff was all like out in the sun. I shot all of that in the
Oh
sun.
wow,
And that
wow,
was all incense smoke, you know.
right,
At
right,
super high speed, like thousandth of a second, and these are like 2 or 3 minutes.
right. Totally
Oh,
different, but again, that you could feel the Wizard of Oz in it. You could feel Brian in it. It's really amazing.
I love
Man,
this one.
that's
Yeah.
great. So great. Man, look at that. That is
You
just,
know, there's so many layers to that. Can you zoom in on the center of that,
yeah.
Mr. Z? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. The faces on the. Oh my goodness, dude.
Yeah.
That is a crazy. Yeah. Just that one image is like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing I love about these. When I was a kid, like 16, 17, my room was covered with all the psychedelic artists
Right.
that had like, I mean, there were like faces and this and rocks that looked like stuff. Nothing was what it seemed. So it
Mhm.
taught me to look into these layers of stuff. I guess they were the precursor to David Finch and his Easter eggs.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah. You know?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one was pretty. I went pretty fast over this one. This one was great.
Yeah,
Using
I
a
really,
bunch of new
really
colors.
like
Yeah.
this one a lot. Yeah. That's with the light whip.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome stuff.
That's
So,
another aura impression picture. Yeah.
awesome. So we have an amazing suggestion for the show once we get through the cards, I think, from Celestial to say, I hope you'll do a live demonstration one day, Brian. Maybe we could bring
Live
some of that, man.
demonstration of.
Kind of light painting, kind of not like an actual, but you could show the technique, you know what I
I
mean?
would be absolutely delighted to do that.
And we probably could do a live demonstration of it somehow, figure it out. It'd be cool.
You know,
Not
why
right
don't,
this second. We
what's
don't have to
why
do.
not?
Oh, there you go. Celestial Infinity
I'll give it a shot. Yeah,
making
I
things
don't know that this
happen.
will work. We'll see. Okay, hang on.
Awesome. So Celestial Infinity is here making things happen. She's saying yay. And Jilly's loving the golden glitter image. That one image, Jilly, was really like, again, I just saw like Mayan hieroglyphic, like just a Mayan.
Okay, got to find a couple
architecture and
things
stuff.
here, so just bear with me. Yak it up while I'm doing.
All right, so yeah, so for people who don't know what light painting is exactly, or what some of these techniques involve, when you open up the shutter on a camera, it's exposing light, right? So if you were to, let's say, turn off the lights in the room and open up the shutter, you would get nothing. But if you were to turn on a flashlight, let's say, and hold it in front of the lens, or a fiber optic brush,
Yeah,
like
black
Brian
fiber
was
optics
showing,
brush.
so and that all of those little fiber optics are sources of light. So as you light them up and you leave the shutter open or the aperture open on the camera and you move it across, with certain settings, you have to set your camera so that it's not letting in a lot of light all at once, and different things that Brian has mastered over the years. As Julie and I are playing around with light painting, we're seeing how really much of an art there is to it. And how much fun it is as well.
It really is. You're actually I learned to paint with pigment,
Yeah.
and I love doing that. And you get to create these cool worlds, right?
Yeah.
So, but what's really great about this is actually the pigment is light, so that you're moving this wand like you're making wings. Let's see, here we go. So you're making wings, and you're just taking and making the shapes of that, and it's It's hard enough to do it already, but looking at it in reverse. Okay, here, let me do this. I won't look at the screen. So you're taking it out and like you're doing these wings and making the shape of the feathers. And,
Right.
it's a very Gestalt kind of like Zen thing because it's dark. And there's, on a pen and paper, you're seeing the pen and the pencil strokes of where you just were, so you know how to plan the next line. But with this scenario, you have to remember where you were, especially the wing scenario, where you go back and try to do a couple of layers of things,
Right.
and yeah. So here, this is not really going to work. This is not going to have cool colors in it because all my little color gels fell out. But this is the way this works, right? Okay, hold on. So this is the fiber optics, and this is my favorite because it's as close to a paintbrush as you can actually get. So you can paint in the air and just be making, here, hold on. This really overexposes it when it points right at it, so I'll try to be cool about that. So you're moving through and making these shapes like this. You can get here. Let's see. Maybe I could do like this. So like you can spread it out and you can make, you're actually moving light that's pigment now, right?
Right.
So that's how we'll do it. I'll set up a camera next time and we'll actually take a few shots. But that's baby. The technique itself is not really not complex at all. Really, it's really
does
super
take a lot of planning. It does take setup. That's
the initial part of it.
Right.
Yes, but. Actually, it's just like anything else. Like when you're really into the art of it, like when I was doing pigments, I was mixing my own pigments. I like that part of like making your ingredients, and this is kind of like making your ingredients. Like my favorite thing to use is a flashlight that fits a plumbing fixture that I found at Home Depot for 37 cents.
There you go.
And like pretty much everything in my stuff is something I built or figured out how to use. A few things like the fiber optics, I can't do that. Although I would love to have a super long one that I could spread out like 2 feet wide, it'd be super cool. But super satisfying. And Celestial, give it a whirl, man. Just open. You can open up if you have a way to have a camera with an open shutter and a place where it's dark. Any flashlight that you use, any kind of a candle, you can draw with the candle. It doesn't really matter that you have this specific tool. This tool is just one way of hundreds I've experimented with, and it just wound up being really satisfying for me. But people like all the tubes. Some people there's a whole Eric Perret, dude. I mean, there's thousands and thousands like Tube Tribe, and all they do are those like different tube things in different environments and different ways of doing that. So it's just whatever hits your switch, and I would just immensely encourage anyone that's trying it. There's a bunch of cool. Light painting tutorials up. I've got a page myself.
You got a couple of cool ones,
yeah. And dive in and give it a shot, and
totally
and be prepared to laugh at yourself and have it suck the first few times you do it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be a Brian Lara off the bat. but Rick is bringing up an interesting live stream of consciousness question. And he's how is art different from temperance?
Art is more about the resolution of opposites, and temperance for me is more about balance and finding a harmonious balance, which in the end they're kind of the same scenario, but they come from a kind of different place. And I think art is more aggressive and kind of like takes on that whole alchemical aspect of it way more than the card temperance does for me. Like for me, when I see art, it is about creativity and resolution of opposites, but like the single word that comes up is alchemy and transmuting, dross into gold.
Right.
That's what that
Right.
card is completely about.
Right.
And that's not so much the balance aspect of the temperance card for me. There'd probably be
Right.
people that disagree, but that's my take on it.
Cool. No, that's a good take on it.
Hey
I
Rick,
think
you sent those to my text thing, man. Can shit. I don't really have any way to get those out of my phone at the moment. Is there any way you can send those to Michael directly?
yeah, send them. Oh, maybe you can send them to my Facebook. Hold on a second. Let me open up my Facebook. I don't know if I'm friends with Rick on Facebook, which I should be, but let's see what's going on. Rick. Let me see. I'm just gonna look up Rick over here. Rick Midler. I'm gonna friend Rick Midler if I'm not already friends with him. I'm not. I'm friending him right now. I just friended you, Rick, so you should be able to accept my friendship and zoom me over some photos of your artwork.
So next week's the devil.
Next week is the devil. Uh-oh.
You
That's gonna be a
know,
good one.
I like the devil a lot more than death. and the devil can take two skews. I've actually kind of made peace with that, and it's not like I'm not a slave to my addictions anymore. Or if I am, well, I'm addicted to practicing. I'm addicted to taking care of myself. I'm addicted to created art. So I've been able to move those in an opposite direction that don't make me a slave and open me up and make me more, and I've gotten rid of all of like stupid drugs and drinking and all the things that like make you less, and eat you. And so the devil is also, in the original card for the devil in the Rider-Waite version of it, the devil's sitting up on his throne with the big wings, and he's holding two chains, and the chains are around a naked man and a naked woman around their necks, but the collar's really huge, so it looks like at first glance that they're slaves, and they are, prisoner to the devil. But what that really means, if you look closely, the collar is so big, it could be taken off at any second. And the truth of the matter is, it's not the devil holding them there. They've given themselves over to whatever sensory thing that has now taken the place of their quest for their own evolving and their own light. And now that addiction has taken over their desire to move forward, so they stay there. On the flip side of that, like if you're talking about business, if you're talking about going after a goal, it's absolute ambition and absolute success in that ambition, because there's just we're going there together.
I think you're giving away a little bit too much for next week. Trisha Rivers is saying,
we'll do it again.
No, the devil is banned.
No, well, it's not that devil.
Right. So I'm waiting on some images from Rick, but in the meantime, I just wanted to give you my take on art, the question about art versus temperance, but just really more so my take on art and us as conscious creators, right? I think I think that creating in itself is actually creating consciousness. So I think that artwork or writing or music or anything that we create actually has a consciousness of its own. And this is just my beliefs, because once you create that, it can now interact with other consciousnesses, and they can experience it. And maybe I'm not looking at it right now. I'm thinking about it, but I don't know if the song can experience the other consciousnesses or only the other way around. But whatever it is that you're creating is coming from consciousness, right? You're shaking your head no at me. So tell me.
Well, you can't really say there's right or wrong in this. I don't really agree with that.
Yeah.
I think you have it
And I'm all right with
reversed.
that.
I think you have it reversed from what
Okay.
I see, and that's one of the issues I see going on with creativity right now is that things are being made so easy that the journey to that creativity
Hmm.
is getting written off, and
Hmm.
that the actual learning and the end result of that is actually the secondary part to the learning and the exploration of your inner landscape as an
Hmm.
artist and as a human being,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know, and that's being taken away. The point in fact, one of the most, if you're, especially if you're a magical person or you're any person trying to create anything in your life, you have to be able to visualize what you want. You have, you know, visualize. It's not the only way. You know, there are people that do it with words, but
Hmm.
there's, you know, for me and for most of the people that I know that practice, seeing it in your mind is the first step towards moving towards deciding what it even is, you know, and
Okay.
moving towards that is the first mode of manifesting your dreams. And it seems like most of what's happening right now with technology taking over that part of it and just getting straight to the end, one, it doesn't mean anything because it took no effort to get there. Two, it takes away the ability of people to exercise their fucking mind muscles and increase their ability to visualize, not decrease, not give it away, not put it out so it can atrophy. And now a computer is doing that part for you,
Hmm. Hmm.
you know?
Well,
And
yeah. I mean, I definitely wasn't even going there as far as like talking about AI art. I was just talking about
I'm not talking about just AI art, I'm
right,
talking about
right, right,
creativity across the
right,
board.
right, 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 and the
So
two,
that's
and
what I
there
thought that's what you asked about. So
no, but and you're right. There are definitely tools that take some of the pure aspects of creativity out.
anything that's taking away from my light, from my abilities, from my ability to make myself the best version of me I could possibly be can go fuck itself. It's not helping me, it's stealing me.
Right, right. But you don't have to use it as a tool. You know what I mean? And you don't. Right? You choose not to
That's
use
true.
those tools. You know what I mean? So
That's true.
so really, I mean, it's that's not really what I was talking about. But what I was talking about, and it comes from the conversation I was having with Lori Ladd about her book, and the necromancer thing that we were talking about. Because when I was reading her book, I felt connecting to it. I didn't feel like I was reading. I felt like a feeling. I felt like this, like just a connection. You know what I mean? And so from that we came up with the idea of that the book actually had a consciousness of its own.
Well, that's true, but that consciousness didn't start. Somebody created that and made that happen. That consciousness didn't show up and then create something else.
Well, that's what
That
I was saying.
that
That's what
came
I'm
out of
saying.
Laurie's connection to wherever she went to bring that
Right, right.
out.
And that's what I'm saying about art. I think that art is that, and I'm talking about true art, not like what you're talking about where the process has been taken away. You know what I mean? Like, the real masters of, traditional techniques, are creating what they're creating. I believe, again, I do believe it has a consciousness. It has an energy to it, right? I mean, consciousness is energy, and
If
they've
you
brought
put it in
something.
there,
Right, right. And that's what the masters are doing, and that's what you're talking about,
that's
is
right.
lacking from today's art. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah. No, I totally get it. I
So
totally get
listen, we're running out of time. I want to get something in really quick.
it. Oh,
I've
snap.
been gifted something really great here, and I want to like send some props out and hopefully send some goodness back
Awesome.
her way. I injured my hand. Like I cut a tendon back here that pretty much made my whole hand numb and useless. And I've gotten most of my hand back, and these three fingers, I'm really great. needless to say, I haven't been able to play guitar for a while,
Wow.
and my little finger was still really fucked up. It's only like a portion of it. It was all curled up and fucked up, and I got connected up to this woman named Kim Bush, and she's a physical therapist that does a stretching therapy sort of thing. And I had my first session with her, and she like helped me like a
That's
lot.
awesome.
And I just want to pass that along. So, hey, Kimmy, I'll load you up on the website and stuff next week.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah,
And
tell
well,
me the website.
and I'll have more. Yeah, I'll have more. Yeah, like hopefully my finger will be straight again, and I'll be able to like use that thing and actually do some shredding
Cool.
again. Yeah.
And
So
let's
thank you, but bottom of my heart. Thanks.
thank you,
Appreciate
thank you. Much appreciated. Awesome energy. I'm going to take a step back before we say goodbye to Rick, who finally figured out how to send some of his
Great.
artwork.
Excellent,
So,
excellent.
I'm
This
gonna
is
add his
beautiful,
artwork to
beautiful
his
stuff.
stream. So I know Jilly is going to appreciate this stuff because it really kind of almost even reminds me.
Well,
Oh, it's getting smaller.
yeah.
I'm trying to make it bigger.
What's really super cool is that this is a beautiful image just by itself, but when you realize all of these are, it's a collage of torn pieces of paper that are making this image. It's pretty awesome, yeah. So
it's very awesome. And
kudos to my
magical, very, very magical.
Yeah, this is one of the pieces he showed down in Art Basel.
This is beautiful. This is awesome. I had a friend that was down there, Asia Lee, who was on the live stream of Consciousness. I know she was in Miami at the Art Basel, and then this is a picture of his stuff hanging there, I guess, at the Art Basel.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Yeah,
very cool. Nice. Oh wow, look at the almost like labyrinth.
Yeah,
stuff. That's awesome. Cool. All right, very cool, Rick. Thank you so much for sending that stuff in. We appreciate you sharing it with us. Celestial saying it's beautiful, and Ricky saying thanks, and we thank you guys as always for being here with us and filling us up with your energy and watching me and Brian fight. And no, we're not fighting. We're loving each other.
Well, a healthy discourse is always good.
Listen, you know what? I'm not going to deny.
And there's no right and wrong. I mean, we both.
Yeah, but I'm not going to deny that I could use a good ass kicking. I'm not.
Well, I'm here for you, my brother. Yeah. Hey, and shout out to all my Goddess Gathering buds, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on Thursday night. We're going to have some major fun. If you can make it to Sebring, Moan Cirque, 6 o'clock Thursday night, be there, be square. Love you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And next week we will be dancing with the devil.
Yeah, it's going to be a good show, though. Fear not. I'm in the good zone. And we're going to banish fucking fear on Thursday, so eat me.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Have a great night. We will see you next week on The Fool's Journey. It's going to be here before you know it.
You bet.